Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the latest in the case of a missing 20-year-old Victoria woman. We have details from a news conference held by the Victoria County Sheriff. The truce between Israel and Hamas has held for a 5th day. We have the latest number of hostages freed. And the state Supreme Court has heard arguments from women who were denied abortions. Now they are deciding whether to block the state's abortion ban.
And we had quite a bit of cloud cover over the area today, even though the northern areas did clear up. But we're expecting some heavier rain to arrive by Thursday. That's going to give you a heads up, and we'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
Plus, a memorial service for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter was held today in Atlanta. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for being with us. I'm Don Brubaker. Karina Garcia has the day off. Authorities believe they have found the body of Amanda Stevenson. Her mother reported the 20-year-old missing last Tuesday. She was last seen Sunday, November 19th, the week of Thanksgiving near Salem Road. 25 News Now reporter Adarius McCormick has more. Adarius?
Amanda Stevenson went missing just days before Thanksgiving and her 20th birthday this past Friday. Today around noon, authorities found a body near Patriot Park they believe is the body of Stevenson. The Victoria County Sheriff's Office hosted a press conference regarding the missing persons case. Amanda's family, the VCSO, and the Victoria Police Department met near Saxon Lake. The sheriff did not take any questions, but he says they will release more information after an autopsy is done. An associate of hers, Kevin Bennetson, was interviewed about Amanda's disappearance, and when stopped for a second interview, he took his own life. It's unclear when Bennetson was interviewed the first time about Amanda being missing. The Texas Rangers are investigating the fatal traffic stop. Don, back to you.
Adarius, thank you. And here's your viewer poll this afternoon. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. And here's the question. How often do you use a ride-sharing program? Daily, weekly, monthly, a few times a year, or never? We want to hear your opinion. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and I'll have an update on 25 News Now at 6. Now let's take a first look at your first warned storm team forecast. Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez joins us now to look what's going on outside. Mac, if you're outside right now, you're shivering and you're looking for the sun.
That's right, and we're not going to get a whole lot in the next couple of days. The overcast is funny, it just stayed right on top of us, even though Austin, Waco, and Dallas had sunny skies today. But that cloud deck is going to get thicker tomorrow, and then on Thursday, we have a very good chance of getting some significant rain. I'll explain how all that's going to develop coming up in just a few minutes, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don?
All right, Mac, thank you. A fragile truce between Israel and Hamas held for a 5th day as more hostages were freed from Gaza. The latest swap of hostages for Palestinian prisoners went into Tuesday night. Israel said 10 of its citizens and 2 foreigners were freed by Hamas. Around 30 more Palestinian prisoners are expected to be released as part of the deal.
The extended Israel-Hamas truce, now in its 5th day, has led to the release of 12 additional hostages, 10 Israelis and 2 foreign nationals. 17-year-old Mia Lemberg, one of those newly freed Israeli hostages, carrying her dog as Hamas militants lead her to a Red Cross vehicle. Israel's health ministry says the 11 hostages who were freed from Gaza yesterday are all now in stable condition. Those former hostages seen walking their final steps with Hamas militants into Red Cross vans. The 9 children and 2 women spending time with their families before further medical evaluations, like 16-year-old Sahar Calderona and her 12-year-old brother Perez.
They got hugs and love and the feeling of some safety after 52 days in captivity. We know that they didn't get a lot of food, that they lost a lot of weight.
The truce has also included the release of more than 150 Palestinian women and teenage prisoners from Israel. These 2 brothers who were recently freed told ABC's Inez de la Kutara that they were arrested after fighting with Israeli settlers. Israel says some of the prisoners were convicted of violent crimes, while others were held without any charges. And now more humanitarian aid is getting into Gaza. These 61 relief trucks delivered to a local hospital in Gaza, filled with food, water, and emergency medical supplies.
Our team saw hunger, desperation, and destruction. People who have not received any relief in weeks. Hundreds of thousands that are facing an immediate risk of starvation.
The truce is scheduled to last at least one more day, though both Israel and Hamas have expressed interest in extending it further. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
A Houston man is being charged with felony arson in San Jacinto County for a fire at his home that killed 2 men. KTRK reports a grand jury met Monday morning and issued a true bill for Mario Roberson after a months-long investigation by the Texas State Fire Marshal's office. Roberson's rental home in Huntsville caught fire in June. 2 men, including one of his family members, died in the fire. Another man escaped with serious injuries. In Austin, the Texas Supreme Court heard arguments today on behalf of 22 women who were denied abortions. The hearing focused on whether to block the state's abortion ban, which would allow abortions to resume in cases of medical emergencies and fatal fetal diagnoses while litigation continues. The lawsuit is asking the court to temporarily and permanently block the abortion bans due to uncertainty surrounding the meaning of ban's exceptions. Despite the ban's exceptions, opponents say the law is worded vaguely, leaving doctors afraid to perform the procedure and risk imprisonment and a fine. Today is a day of remembrance for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. She passed away November 19th at the age of 96. A public memorial service was held in Atlanta today. Former President Jimmy Carter, her husband of more than 77 years, attended. President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden also attended, as well as the Clintons and each former First Lady.
The casket of Rosalynn Carter, surrounded by loved ones, and a farewell tribute to the former First Lady. After lying in repose at the Carter Center in Atlanta, her casket led in a ceremonious procession to Glenn Memorial Methodist Church at Emory University for this memorial service.
What a remarkable woman she was. Yet what I remember most about her was her tireless dedication to taking care of others.
Her husband, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter, 99 years old, leaving home hospice care, traveling with a doctor by his side to honor her. The two were married for 77 years. Her family remembering her as a loving, selfless woman who lived a life of faith and service, dedicated to her family and the causes she was most passionate about, including equal rights for women and mental health.
If you imagine just how far our society has come in the last 5 years on issues of mental health, and you think that she decided in 1970 to tackle the ancient stigma associated with mental illness, it is remarkable how far she could see.
President Biden and Dr. Jill Biden in attendance, along with all the former First Ladies.
Every one of these First Ladies owes something to her for her trailblazing. She was very devoted to being something more than just an arm partner to the president.
Imagine all the people.
Some of her favorite music performed by artists she loved, like Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood. Tomorrow, there will be a private funeral in the Carters' hometown of Plains, Georgia. Alex Brachet, ABC News, Atlanta.
A Victoria native is busy this holiday season far away from home. Chief Quartermaster Matthew Rodriguez navigates landing craft during amphibious operations with the USS Boxer in the Pacific Ocean. Rodriguez is on a ship that is part of a group conducting integrated training and routine operations in the U.S. Third Fleet. The need for blood donations goes up over the holiday season. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center is asking everyone who can donate to sign up to help soon. The Blood Center has several blood drives coming up. If your company or organization would like to host a blood drive, they want to hear from you. The new Blood Center is located next to HEB Plus on North Navarro in Victoria. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us straight ahead on 25 News now at 5. Former attorney and convicted murderer Alex Murdaugh was back in court today to face sentencing, this time for financial crimes. Also ahead, several construction workers who were trapped in a collapsed mountain tunnel in India for several days are now free. Former attorney and convicted killer Alex Murdaugh was sentenced for his financial crimes. Murdaugh was sentenced to 27 years in state prison on financial crimes. He pleaded guilty to 22 counts last week, including money laundering, breach of trust, and financial fraud. He was also convicted of murdering his wife and son earlier this year and was sentenced to life in prison. A mysterious respiratory illness in dogs is now reported in at least 12 states. Scientists are unable to figure out the virus, bacteria, or fungus responsible. The disease looks similar to kennel cough and spreads more easily in public facilities. Veterinarians have not found any medication or therapy the disease responds to. It's unknown exactly how many cases there are, how far the disease has spread, or what the fatality rate is. The respiratory virus season is ramping up across most of the country. The CDC predicts there will be about the same number of hospitalizations as last season.
Across the U.S., flu, COVID-19, and RSV are spreading.
It is that time of year, and we know that all of the respiratory viral illnesses are starting to ramp up.
Flu cases are rising across most of the country, especially in Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and South Carolina. While outpatient visits for flu-like illnesses are lower than this time last year, they're still higher than the previous 4 seasons. COVID-19 hospital admissions and emergency department visits are also on the rise again after a few weeks of decline.
I was in the hospital on call this holiday weekend, and I'm certainly starting to see more people being hospitalized, mainly with COVID.
Dr. Kristen England with Cleveland Clinic says it's not too late to protect you and your family through vaccination. More than a third of adults and children have gotten a flu shot this year. When it comes to the new COVID-19 vaccine, nearly 16% of adults and just over 6% of children have gotten it, and nearly 15% of adults ages 60 and up have gotten the new RSV vaccine.
Vaccinations will always be the key way to prevent the transmission of any of these respiratory viral illnesses.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The 41 construction workers who are trapped in a collapsed mountain tunnel in North India have been pulled out. The rescue mission was completed quickly after rescuers reached the trapped laborers early Tuesday. India's Minister of Road Transport and Highways said on X that he was relieved all of the workers were rescued. He added the rescue was a well-coordinated effort by multiple agencies. Wednesday is National Package Protection Day. The day is always celebrated the Wednesday after Thanksgiving, following Black Friday and Cyber Monday. About 1.7 million packages are lost or stolen in the U.S. each day. Several states have laws against porch piracy, including Texas. To celebrate National Package Protection Day, raise awareness about lost or stolen packages and stay alert during high delivery times.
I didn't know we had that package protection day, but I guess with the way things are going, we should. We had quite a bit of cloud cover over us today. North of us, it did clear up, but the cloud deck's coming back and the chances of some heavy rain here. Now, heavy rain for winter is about maybe half an inch. That'll be arriving on Thursday, so we got to talk about that. So we'll do that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. You might have noticed this kind of an interesting view here. You can see the cloud deck on top of us, but if you look north far enough, up toward I-10, it's actually sunny out there. The cloud deck just sort of hung out over our area pretty much all day long, and that's why we stayed on the cool side of things. Right now we're at 59, and our high temperature, well, it's not in just yet, but it couldn't be much more than 61, 62. Of course, these are cool temperatures left over from the weekend front. Tomorrow will be a little warmer because it all depends on which way the wind is blowing. And for tomorrow, it's going to be a wind that comes out of the south. Obviously, we haven't had any rain in the last 24 hours, but there you see the cloud deck just sort of hanging on top of us, north of us. They did get some sunshine. Now, the interesting pattern is going to develop over the next couple of days, and ordinarily, you just don't go from overcast to heavy rain real quickly at this time of year, but I'll tell you when that does happen. We have to look out at the big picture because over here we've got this area of low pressure that's going to move very fast down into the central plains, and that's the thing that's going to trigger what I think may be some heavier rainfall. There you see it on Wednesday. We start pulling up the Gulf air. On Wednesday it's somewhere over Arizona. And Thursday night, it really pulls up a lot of moisture here. This is what causes the lift. When you take that mild air up to the cooler high levels of the atmosphere, it condenses out and we get the rain. And so Thursday night, we may see the heaviest rain we've seen in a while. The last have been, sort of drizzle, very light. But this may be a significant event as that thing moves through fairly rapidly. And the good news is that it's pretty much gone, but it's not really going to clear out. So the heavy rain is really for, about a 12 to 18 hour period, and then it sort of pulls away. Let's look at it again on Future Tracker. We go from Tuesday all the way into Wednesday, no significant rain. There you see it right there. But then Wednesday morning into Thursday, you see how the rain does begin to happen. This is actually Wednesday late at night. It's Thursday when you really see the development of the rainfall activity right on top of us, even heavier out toward Houston. And then as we get into Friday, it does sort of, well, that's Thursday night. And then by Friday, it pulls away. So this is very interesting. The Storm Prediction Lab up in Norman, Oklahoma, they've put out an advisory for a slight chance of some severe weather, basically from our area to Houston and over there into Beaumont. This would be on Thursday night into Friday. That's why we're giving everybody a heads up that, hey, we could see a little bit heavier stuff around here. You notice how we're marginally into it, but some areas of the crossroad may see a little bit heavier activity. This would be Thursday night into Friday morning. So tonight we'll get down into the 40s, about 49, 50. Tomorrow we'll get up into the 60s for one day of a warm-up, and then we'll watch and wait for this big activity coming through. Well, once again, Future Tracker will show you the dip in the atmosphere right about there. And then that low sort of streaks through here, and that's when we have the best chance for getting some of that activity rolling through. So we're calling it an alert day, so you've got to get ready for this. Tonight, mostly cloudy, getting down to 55. Tomorrow, 67. Still overcast in Port Lavaca. In Cuero, we get down to 51, up to 64. Still on the overcast. So here's where I put the alert day, and that's for Thursday. It starts off as light rain. Late Thursday night, the heaviest, and Friday morning it starts pulling away for some rather damp days, although the heaviest stuff should be through by Friday morning. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code, and we'd love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Don.
Mac, thank you. And coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at your stocks. Plus, a federal judge is allowing the FTC to crack down on Meta's usage of personal data. Taking a look at your stocks, the Dow up 84 points, the S&P 500 up 4 points, and the Nasdaq up 41 points. Oil up $1.55, closing at $76.41 a barrel. A federal judge has paved the way for the government to propose new restrictions on how Meta can use personal data. The decision also allows the FTC to ban Meta from profiting off the data it collects from users under 18. The agency also suggested implementing tougher rules on Meta's use of facial recognition technology. This ruling could force Facebook and Meta to halt the rollout of any new products or services until an audit shows the company is complying with privacy obligations. Governor Greg Abbott is starting to target other Republicans who have opposed school vouchers. You can read the Texas Tribune article on crossroadstoday.com. And stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a woman in Dallas creates dolls to represent HBCUs for little girls. And now here's a look at what's coming up on World News Tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Where the Hamas hostage negotiations stand, plus paying tribute to former First Lady Rosalind Carter. Our team reports from Georgia. More Americans turn to the most watched program on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
Finally tonight, a Dallas woman has taken her love for dolls and her pride for historically black colleges and universities to create a line of dolls representing HBCUs. Brooke Hart Jones created the dolls after she wanted to get one as a gift to an old classmate. The dolls are sold in major retailers everywhere for young black girls to buy and enjoy. They have different skin tones and hair textures and different interests. Jones wanted to create the dolls for girls who look like them and show them what they can achieve. I hope they make a lot of money doing this, and I hope also, and I don't know how the money is allocated here, but I hope that some of that money goes to historically black colleges and universities, which always seem to be underfunded.
Yeah, and it's amazing that women of stature that have come out of these universities now can get together and support this thing. So that's there's so many. I mean, you go back to NASA and you realize who was there when the numbers were being calculated. You go, really? Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
Anyway, we feel like Christmas tree ornaments here. You know, it's kind of like. You notice we decorated the set. I didn't, but.
And did you notice I didn't do what Mac did?
Yeah, the little fairies came in and decorated the set and did a great job. So we're getting into the holiday spirit now. Temperatures will be a little milder tomorrow. We should get up to kind of like the mid 60s, and but the big concern is on Thursday. I put up an alert day there because the day will start with light rain, but by Thursday night, sundown, we may see some heavier rain that we've seen in a while as an upper air storm sort of drifts through the region. By Friday morning, that will be over and will clear. I shouldn't say clear out. Will stay cloudy, but the heaviest rain will be ending, and we'll stay on the drippy side as we get to the weekend, with temperatures staying in the 60s. At least it's not in the 90-degree range. Feels like the holidays, right?
Droopy and drippy. All right, thank you, Mac, and thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.